Hi guys, welcome back to the Bad Players podcast. Simon here doing the intro this time, and I'm here with Lewis. There he is. So today is the different version of the podcast. I'm going to talk about vintage deck.
Don't worry, we literally just did this like 30 seconds after the other podcast that will be uploaded, so that's why we're wearing the same clothes. I wear the same clothes every day anyway.
Yeah.
But
Me too, mostly.
Just say
yeah, we decided to do this as like a different video just series on, because we felt like the podcast video was a bit long. We don't want you to get bored, turn it off. So we're going to do the podcast, try and keep it to an hour. And then we're going to do these videos on cool decks. Decks we like. Mainly decks we like, because decks we don't like just suck.
Yeah.
Like, I can't talk about a deck I don't like.
Just be like quick, like 10, like 20 minute just videos
quick,
of us.
Let's do an hour on Lugia.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So this video, Lewis is going to do a lot of the talking because it's his thing. And we're going all the way back to 2017 at the EUIC London. And this deck came 5th place. It came out of nowhere.
Oh dear.
But it became a phenomenon, didn't it?
Yeah, this is my favourite deck.
So over to Lewis.
100% my favourite deck ever. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, whatever, the title and the thumbnail, because I'll put this guy in the thumbnail, and what's on the screen right now is that there's Buzzwall. And Buzzwall Lycanroc, and I think the other one that we'll look into is also Buzzwall Lycanroc. buzzroc, rock buzz, Lycanwall.
This was
Does it sound right?
This was the OG.
This was
the first draft.
This was the first time Buzzwall. This is when the Ultra Beasts were the playmat for the tournament, because they were like the new thing.
Crimson Invasion had just come out.
Awful set.
And the one with Buzzroc, that was like a subset, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Fates or whatever.
Just gonna open this as there we go.
Man, such a good deck.
So this is how it started. It's quite funny actually, because when it evolved, it kind of just looks the same. You see it but just a little bit different. It's still like the same premise. It never lost its premise of no skill kill, except sometimes this deck required skill.
Like, it wasn't killed by rotation like a lot of decks are.
No,
like,
this deck survived.
You were just like, well, I'll just play this instead of this.
This completely changed after rotation, but still survived. So there's the main attraction for this one really is the Buzzwall thing. The Swole Buzz. There's a Jet Punch for 1 energy, which is the best attack on the card. I don't think anyone can say otherwise. 30 damage for 1 energy, and then 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon.
Broken.
And 30 damage to one in a basic format is quite a lot to be fair.
In an evolving format.
Yeah. That's what I meant. To 2 little Pokemon is quite good. And at this time, it's just as Zoroark was getting everyone was getting a bit hyped about Zoroark. So the Jet Punch, 30 damage, then turned into 60 to the Fighting Weak Zorua, and then 30 to another Zorua, or even 30 to the Galissapod, the little Wimpod with the Fugi, with the Fugi on the bench. It's just the Wimpod. And it just helps set up the numbers. But 30 isn't that much for the big Vs, the big EXs at the time. Well, EX and GXs at the time.
Yeah.
But there are ways you could manipulate the amount of damage you're doing. More on the card is Knuckle Impact.
Jet Punch just...
Yeah, it's great. And then there's Knuckle Impact for blanket 160, but you can't attack during your next turn. And then there's the Absorption GX, which is a great GX move. There's 40 damage for each of your remaining prize cards, which is great if your Buzzwall survives with 3 energy on it, because you can do Absorption and then Knuckle Impact. If you get the nuts like Triple Max Elixir, which I know I did from time to time, literally nothing you can do.
Pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but Absorption, say turn 1 shot anything in format, anything.
It was just
because nothing had 300 HP like it does now.
Yeah.
And it would do, what would it do, 240?
240 plus anything you want.
Yeah, really. With no modifiers, it was 240, and no basic Pokemon. Maybe Wailord.
It can kill Wailord with Fire and Fury though.
Yeah.
With all the...
Yeah. But not turn 1, because you wouldn't be able to get all that turn 1.
No, you can.
Choice belt.
240.
Yeah, you just choice belt.
Choice band
would be 270.
It does 40 extra HP. It's got 290 Waylord, doesn't it? It's 290.
So you would do 270.
And then you'd need strong energy.
The Ridge Rock.
Yeah, so you could kill a Waylord.
You could do it, yeah. So you could hit 300 turn.
Yeah, Waylord or a Fighting Fury Vow is a inside joke.
A funny meme, yeah.
It's a funny meme.
Like the fattest dude ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like really good attacks. Like they look really expensive.
Which they are.
Like triple fighting. Like if you were to put this card in the sets now, people would just be like, oh no. Like you look at Tinglu, right? Tinglu's got a busted ability. The attack is okay. It does like 150, I think, and then 40 damage to the bench.
Oh yeah,
so it does something like that. So it's similar to this, right? But it's bad because you can't power it up. You got that stupid axe thing, which is bad. You've got the Koraidon, which is just bad. Like the whole thing's like fighting has just been like.
Are we gonna do that cringe thing where I'm like, but however, we have.
So yeah, we've got Buzzwole. We'll get into the setup in a minute.
I know. And then we've got,
the
other dude, the other half of the deck.
The rock part.
Oh no, this is Rockruff, but the corner attack is still good though. It's similar to the Mawile at the moment. Just defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn.
Just really good.
Good if you're stuck. What I gotta say. And then there's this dude, the Lycanroc GX.
It's a card, man. It's a card.
With an ability similar to, exactly the same as the Umbreon VMAX in format right now. Bloodthirsty Eyes. When you evolve this Pokemon during the turn, you can switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with your active Pokemon. That's just an ability as a boss that isn't a 3-prizer, 2-prizer this is, and it's just strong. That's all I can say. But
it's better than Umbreon, because like we discussed previously, like Umbreon is
Hello, mate.
Umbreon is a 3-prize Pokemon, and you can always tell when old abilities come out on new Pokemon, and they're like not on a basic or they're not on this, that the ability's broken because of what it's on. So the boss's orders ability is like dumb.
Yeah.
And they're like, right, we'll reprint this ability and we'll call it like Umbreon ability, whatever it's called. That one. But it has to be on VMAX for that reason, right? It's the same as the Pidgey at the moment. Broken ability, always been on a stage 2 Pidgey, but that's in EX, so it's 2 prize cards. So this is like, I think when they printed this, they didn't quite realise like how broken it is.
Yeah.
Like where you can just go Bloodthirsty Eyes knockout.
I think the Claw Slash attack is rarely underrated, but it did get better with the next list that we'll look at. It did get a lot better, that did. But there's also, that does 110 by the way, in case you couldn't see.
Yeah, just a vanilla 110, but it's good.
It's good, yeah. The Dangerous Rog GX.
Dangerous
which
Rogue.
was
Rogue, as we called it.
Rog, which is a very strong GX move. It did allow you to hit more than Buzzwole. No, did it?
250.
250, so 110 more damage than Buzzwole.
Yeah, 10 more, yeah.
That's crazy.
But Buzzwole can do it turn 1. Yeah, this can't, because it has to evolve.
It's 50 times 50 times damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And this was especially good because everyone was benching out.
Well, every deck had like, not every deck, but most decks had like stage 1s, like GXs, so they had to fill their bench.
They had to, yeah.
So it would be like playing against Gardevoir now, and Gardevoir going, I'm just going to play 2 Pokemon. They don't do that, they play all 5 as fast as they can. So Dangerous Rogue is just whatever you bench dies.
It's sort of weak to grass, which is
weak to grass.
Good to know.
Good to know. Psychic.
Then there's Remoraid. Some funny stories about this Remoraid in particular, because of the attack Iron Pool. Discard any card in play. Any stadium card. Discard any stadium card in play.
So yeah, this card's really cool, and I as Lewis said, the story about this is like we used to have 200,000-300,000 cards, bulk cards, and I remember once he was like, I want to build Buzzwole, but I need that Iron Pool Remoraid, so it took me all day. I was digging through, and I was like, I found a Remoraid, and he's like, it's got Iron Pool. I'm like, no, but does it really matter? And he's like, yeah, it matters.
It does matter.
And then another 7 hours later, I'd find another Remoraid. Oh, this Remoraid, no. Like, there was one, it was called, like, Swim Down the River or something.
Yeah, let me have a look.
Like, do you know which one I mean?
Yeah, I know which one you're on about as well. Yeah, let me find this.
Was it Swim Down? It wasn't that, but it was called, like...
Yeah, it was, yeah. It's not going to come out straight away. But
so it was like, it was a Swim Down the River one.
This was it, Wild River.
There it is. So I would find this one. Is that on screen?
Yeah, it is.
You sure?
Yeah.
Hey, there we are.
There we are.
So I'd find a Wild River and it'd be like, no, Wild River's trash, mate.
Yeah, it was.
So I need the other one. Like Call for Family would have been good.
Yeah, there we go. That's the
but yeah, so I would kept finding the Wild River one, and he's like, no, like I need Iron Pool, and I swear to God, out of like 200,000 cards, we had like 2 Iron Pool. Like it's always the way, isn't it? Like we'd have like 40,000 Rock Ruffs, but we'd only have 2 corner.
Yeah, it's
like and it still happens even today.
Yeah.
So I need I don't have any of them.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's like a funny because the Discarded Stadium was just good.
Yeah. Then we got the Octillery with Abysmal Hand, even though it's Abyssal. Okay. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. And this was the choo-choo train engine for this deck, I guess.
So this one, if I can just interrupt, because I like to. This one is weird because this is where what I just said about Dangerous Rogue, like with the abilities being broken and then you get punished on a new Pokemon. This one seems to be the opposite.
Yeah.
Because we've got Bibarel, and Bibarel does the same thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it literally the same thing?
Yeah.
Right, but Bibarel has more HP, yeah,
mm-hmm.
and is a better attacker. Or is this attack actually better?
No. Not in this deck.
No, yeah, that's true. So Bibarel's better, so... But I suppose this is a like for like. So, I don't know, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, but this was...
But then again, Abyssal Hand is fine.
And the reason that this was played...
So good.
Obviously, the Octillery, I think Octillery was the only card like this at the time. There was a Rangaroo, but a Rangaroo was only 3.
Yeah, this deck was just very prone to disruption.
Yeah.
Because you would Absorption turn 1, like Knuckle Impact turn 2, and then it would end you to 2.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, bruh. So
yeah.
It would be the equivalent of like I don't know, something like Miraidon now, where they take like 4 prize cards in 30 seconds, and then you Iolo them and they can't do anything for the rest of the game because they don't have a draw engine, whereas this has a draw engine, so that's why it's in there.
Yeah, there's the Zygarde as well. This is really cool.
Zygrade, you mean?
Zygrade, yeah. This is funny, mainly because it has 3 attacks. I think it's very rare you see a card with 3 attacks. Got Lance Pulse for 1 fighting energy.
Great.
It's 20 plus, and then 20 more if there's a Stadium card in play. That's 40 damage for 1 energy, which isn't bad for that time.
It's great.
And then the best attack on the card, I'd say, is Soulstorm, which is fighting colourless, 60 damage and heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Kind of allowed it to live, and that sounds stupid. But there are times where you could Soulstorm twice and get them stuck.
Sometimes they could hit you for 180, and then you just heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're forcing them to use... Hello, you. You're forcing them to use a bigger attack to knock you out, which was good. And in the Blanket 100 for 2 fighting and the colourless Landstrath. And this is another Pokemon that's weak to grass and not psychic.
I think Landstrath is the underused. That's the use if you're stuck kind of attack.
We won't get into the Lele because we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
But this is the first time where we look at the damage buffs, which is the smallest damage buff, but not the worst damage buff. Wow, it is the worst damage buff, but not the worst one ever. I was so lame.
It gets better in the next deck, you'll see.
Yeah, the attacks of a fighting Pokemon, apart from him, do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon.
Really good.
So Jet Punch is now doing 40 and 30. Land's Wrath is now doing 50. Southstorm is now doing 70. You get the picture. Everything else is going up.
Or because you can just bench up, but yeah,
Dangerous Rogue is one-shotting more. Even this little dude, we should briefly go over, because I didn't play this at all. I'd say this little dude can now do 130 or
but the
40.
rubble's pretty good as well.
The defending Pokemon can't retreat. So 40 and then you can't retreat. But I didn't play the Zygarde. But it is a single prizer, which is... There's a different single prizer in the next deck, which I'll talk about that more.
And then, like he quickly said, we've got Lele, which is Luminion.
Yeah, there's nothing more
great
to say about
card,
that.
bench it, get any supporter you want.
Yeah.
Great attack as well.
And then the supporters, I did say this when we recorded it last, but never published it, is that it's literally like it is today, the supporter line. 4 Sycamore, which is your Granny Research, or the professors in the new game, whatever they are.
Yep.
Your 4N, which is Iono, but better. No doubt about it. And then there's 4 Guzma, which is your boss, but better in this deck because of the Knuckle Impact switch. And then the Float Stone, which we'll talk about in a second. But Guzma was great for the time. I think that was also talked about in the other episode. So,
good with Knuckle Impact.
Yeah, good. That's what I said. Thingy. Yeah, good with the Knuckle Impact.
Because then you negate the retreat.
Yeah, there's the 4 Ultra Ball, pretty self-explanatory. That's how you got your Octillery and your Lycanroc. And probably, and your Lele. That was all it was for, because you got the Brooklet Hill,
great card,
which we'll talk about in a sec. And then we got how you power all this dookie up. You got the Max Elixir.
So yeah, like we said, the fighting Pokemon have like very expensive costs. So this card made it cheaper.
Exactly. It's what's the new one called? The Lightning Generator.
Yeah.
But 10 times better.
This one is a better card.
Yeah, look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach basic energy cards you find there. Attach it to a basic Pokemon on your bench. Shuffle all the cards back.
So good.
So that's like any basic Pokemon and any energy.
Any energy.
But any basic energy. So there's...
So like, you can argue Generator's better because you get 2 energy, but it's only limited to
so you literally Ultra Ball away you're fighting and... Ultra Ball away you're fighting. Ultra Ball for the Buzzwole, Ultra Ball for Lycanroc, whatever. Attach return to Buzzwole, Max Elixir to Lycanroc, if you hit it, obviously. Max Elixir to Zygarde. You got 3 threatening attackers turn 1.
Jesus.
And you've only needed two of Max Elixir, that's only half. And you've still got, like, you've whatever it's called, the Strong Energy, which is another buff. I'll just briefly talk about this. It's just a fighting energy, and when you attach it, it does 20 more damage. So like I was saying earlier, with the Regirock, instead of doing 40, Jet Punch is now doing 60, which is pretty dumb. And you get the picture, Knuckle Impact's now going up to like the 200 mark.
Yeah, which was a big number.
Which was, easy. 180 was the magic number.
You reckon the mirror?
For your...
you one-shot Lele.
For perspective, 180 was the number to hit in this format.
In a lot of stuff,
There's the Field Blower, which is great. It's shuffle. Discard 2 of any combination of tools and stadium cards in play. 2?
No way.
Yeah. So you could get rid of your own stuff.
Makes vacuum look pants.
It does make vacuum look
pants. Like vacuum is broken.
But that meant you could get rid of your own stuff. Which if you had a Float Stone on a Buzzwole to retreat it, and you needed a Trust Belt, you can Float Stone away your own Float Stone. You can Field Blow away your own Float Stone. Attach Choice Belt.
Which you can still do with vacuum.
Yeah. Or if you were in the mirror, you could Field Blow away Brooklet Hill. Just saying. Then there's the Rescue Stretcher, which I think you can have a little bit to talk about because you love this card.
I do. It's like the best card ever. Like it's basically an item card that is a Clara. You know, you get to pick one of the 2 things, the 2 dots. What would you say they are? Stipulations?
The 2 choices. Cause it's
2 choices. So you can put a Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. Or you can shuffle 3 back in like a Super Rod. So this is Super Rod and Clara as an item. I know Super Rod's an item, but you know what I mean. But in this deck, it's really good to just get because you have basic attackers, right? Then you can just like pull your Buzzwole back, bench it, Jet Punch. Right, but it's also really good for you can do like really like you get your Lele back, which is great because then you can just go Rescue Stretcher for Lele, for Guzma, for Game, because that's just like what used to happen. And then another thing, what would be really cool is, I remember in this format with stuff like Rescue Stretcher, with like Rockruff, you'd bench a Rockruff, then knock out your Rockruff, you'd be like, nah, whatever. So then you'd Ultra Ball away the thingy, Dangerous Rogue dude.
Yeah.
And then you'd play through your game and you'd bench another Rockruff later on, and then out of nowhere you just go Rescue Stretcher, Like a Rock, Dangerous Rogue, the Bloodthirsty Eyes for knockout.
Just having a look at all of this.
Like for the Bloodthirsty Eyes, kind of
Snorlax.
this, that, and the other kind of stuff.
Some weird stuff. It was literally every day.
So
that's what I was trying to prove.
It's just really good for like getting stuff back out of nowhere, and it's you think Clara's good. Like Clara's really good, but it's a supporter. Rod's really good. Like Lost Box is a reason that Rescue Stretcher would never be reprinted, and any deck like just Resurrection is just kind of broken. Like in anything, like can you imagine this now? You know,
it's a bit nuts, isn't it? But there's the Floatstone, which just talk about with the Guzma Knuckle Impact synergy.
Free retreat to, is it literally free retreat to
whatever you attach it to.
Again, never
also good for the fat dudes like Regirock and Octillery.
Like crazy card.
Yeah, the Choice Bout, which is literally Choice Band. No, this is Choice Band, which is literally Choice Bout.
30 damage to
EX
and GX.
Yeah, EX and GXs. So that's another damage multiplier. And then the Free Brooklet Hill, which I've just said about, which is the greatest stadium for what it does.
So this is one of, I would say, is one of the top 10 stadiums ever printed.
Yeah. Like, for getting Pokemon out, it's the best for it, what it does.
For what it does,
Stadium. Once during your player's turn, that player may search their deck for a basic water or fighting Pokemon and put it onto their bench. So that means not only can you grab Buzzroll, not only can you grab Lycanroc,
you can get Chimpanzee,
but you can
get Frigibacks. Like, can you imagine that now? Sorry.
But you can get Remoraid.
Wait,
shut up. You can get Remoraid.
Can you imagine if Radiant Ninja with Brooklet Hill?
Well, no, we can get Remoraid.
Okay.
That's the only water Pokemon we're grabbing.
Yep.
Is it the only water Pokemon we're grabbing?
Yeah.
It's the only water Pokemon we're grabbing. And then there's 9 Fighting Energy. Because it's a fighting deck.
Brooklet Hill's so good, isn't it? Like,
it's fighting deck.
Yeah.
Fighting Energy.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
But anyway, this...
And then you've done a strong energy, yeah? Like, so you can like max out like... 300
damage.
This
plus.
deck was like a powerhouse. Like even this was the first version, and this was in a tournament where Guardy GX was really popular, and that was like a massive Pokemon stage 2 that could one shot anything, right? But this was really good because the Jet Punch just bodied the Rolters.
Yeah.
30-30, set up another one, 30-30, 30-30, 30-30, spread, bang. Like, and the good thing about the Jet Punch as well is you can modify. Like, what's your max on Jet Punch? 30, 60, 80, 90? Is that right? You can do 90? Like, if you, I mean, with one energy, not, because in relevance to playing against the Guardy does more damage if you both got loads of energy on. So the good thing about the Buzzwole is you could put one energy on a Buzzwole, hit a Guardy for like 110 or whatever it was, and they would need like a stack of energy on there, a bit like Shining Arcana is now, to knock out your Buzzwole, and you're just like, cool, I'll just send up another one with one energy.
Yeah.
And so you would force them to do more stuff.
Yeah.
So this deck kind of came out of nowhere. It came 5th and 6th or something like that.
Yeah, 5th and 6th
in the
first
tournament.
NAIC.
Really good.
NAIC?
EUIC 2017 in London.
That we
went
attended
to. Was
was the first one.
We did bad, but I think you did alright.
I did relatively okay.
Yeah, you did.
All I remember is losing to Tapu Bulu and getting really annoyed, and then whenever I see Tapu Bulu...
Sure it was Bulu?
I think it was
I
Bulu.
don't think Bulu was out then. Maybe it was. No, it wasn't.
So this is another unrelated Google search.
I remember you lost to a Quad Umbreon. No, Quad Espeon.
Tapu Bulu. Oh, it had to be out.
No, it wasn't Bulu. Bulu was Sun and Moon. Yeah, it was, because we were playing the Sun and Moon. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Bulu was out, yeah.
Yeah, with Vital
I lost a quad Bulu.
Yeah. You lost a quad Espion as well with the hammers.
Yeah.
Remember that? Confusion hammer deck.
No, I think I beat Bulu, but I was really annoyed about it, because I didn't know what it did. I think there was a judge ruling around it.
Like,
so now whenever we see Bulu...
You're a Bulu, man.
Whenever we see Bulu, we're Bulu. It's a Bulu. But yeah, unfortunately though, this deck lasted about another year? About a year until rotation? It wasn't long.
It wasn't long. It was like maybe less than that. And then rotation hit and new cards came out. Which rotation usually kills decks. Rotation put this deck into the stratosphere.
And created this.
Like the monster. This deck is just insane.
It's something else. So we got this new Rockruff, which I'll just have a quick peek at.
More HP.
It's literally just because it had 70 HP.
Yeah.
And the attack
you played the one corner because it was just too good.
Yeah, and that was it. There's 3 Lycanroc this time. Talked about that. 2 Buzzwole. Talked about that. But less Buzzwole this time. But that's because we got this.
Mini Buzz.
Sledgehammer for 30 damage. But if your opponent has 4 prizes remaining, this attack does 90 more damage.
So good.
120 damage. And the damage buffs are still something to talk about. So the Beast Energy this time.
Mm-hmm.
And Choice Belt. So there's and Diancie. So you could be sledgehammering for like 180 or 200.
So what to do? Bet flat.
120.
120, 150, 680, 200.
Yeah, 200 flat.
For they could knock out your Lele and you just go boom.
So that's just great. And then there's Swing Around, which is not as good. It's just 80 and flip 2 coins, 20 for each heads. I'm just going to talk about this for a little bit longer, so I'm just going to skip over to Diancie Prism Star, which is 20 extra damage, literally just replaced Regirock.
And it's a single prize there.
And I have used the attack from time to time. Diamond Rain, I think it's called, yeah?
Yeah, heal
90 damage and heal 30 damage.
So the good thing about Diancie is that it's a single prize. So the bad thing about it was that it's a prism.
Yeah.
And I think when it gets knocked out, to go Lost Zone.
I think so, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes to Lost Zone. So most people would just like knock it out.
Yeah.
So that's, again, like I said about abilities, if an ability is good, you kind of get punished. It's got 2 Lele in it.
Yeah, Lele did. As the season went on, the counts of Lele just went up.
But Lele's better in this version because the energy's different, which we'll get to. The double colourless is really Lele becomes a threat. Right, we've got the best card ever. I love this card. This card is banned.
I don't even want to say anything about this.
Okay.
It even says
banned.
Banned.
So Let Loose. Marshadow, 70 HP, Psychic Pokemon, only played for the ability.
Nuts.
So you'd play this in most decks at the time, but it was really good in Buzzwole because Buzzwole's a single, easy, attack. So you can just attach to your Buzzwole, play your Brooklet Hill, get yourself a dude out, a fish, Iron Pool fish. Basically set yourself up. This was a format where you could play a supporter turn 1, right? So then you could Marshadow your opponent down to 4, let loose ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may have each player, so both of you, shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 4. Now, you could brick into a hand, but technically you play this once you set up. So you set up, then you play Marshadow. Or, if you've got a crap first turn, then you play Marshadow to try and set up. So, you could Marshadow your opponent to 4 and then Lily yourself to 8.
Yeah.
So, Marshadow, the reason it's broken is because you just lose the game turn 1. Your opponent loses straight away.
And there's the Sudowoodo.
Broken as well. Roadblock Sudowoodo.
So this is just the modern day equivalent of the old version of the modern day Collapse Stadium.
This is a Pokemon that's Collapse Stadium.
So that's good. Very strong. Was played in not just this,
but
crippled, most decks.
Crippled Skyfield decks and stuff, didn't it?
Right. So before we go into the last Pokemon, there's this in the deck now.
Double colourless.
Double colourless energy is probably the best energy ever printed. is double colourless, just provides 2 colourless energy.
With no punishment.
Yeah, which helped with this geezer. There's quite a few stories about this, about how Simon managed to build a deck with 4 of these and made a kid qualified for Worlds with it. Which was quite funny.
Bonnie's Zygarde, mate.
Yeah. So cell connector for that double colourless I was saying. It's 50 damage, and then you attach 2 fighting energy cards from the discard pile to this Pokemon. Conveniently, its next 2 attacks are for the 2 fighting energy that you bring back, plus the colourless. That's Land's Wrath, which is 130, Blanket 130, and then the Verdict GX. And I swear we used to always call it the Verdict.
The Verdict.
Even though it is Verdict. But there's 150 damage, which is a lot. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon GX and EX during your opponent's next turn. Need I say more? That is good.
You can't touch me.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a really good, like, if you're in, again, like I was saying about checkmate situations, like, your opponent has game next turn, so you end them to 1, you Verdict, they can't knock you out, you knock them out, you win the game. That's sick.
Cool.
So Verdict was really good, and yeah, I did get Dan to qualify for Worlds playing those Quad Zygarde Bonnie deck.
That was nice.
I can't remember what Bonnie does, but you know.
Oh, Bonnie, yeah, I can't remember what that
Does it heal your Zygarde?
I don't know, are we doing another pointless Google search?
Yeah, Bonnie TCG, yeah. He had 4 full out Bonnies, remember?
Yeah.
He's like, love Bonnie, man, it's a great card, man.
Here we go, it's going to take ages to load, but we have to do this. Here we go. It had something to do with Zygarde, I know it.
Yeah, it's Bonnie Zygarde, isn't it? There's Bonnie.
If you can only play this card if you have a stadium card in play, discard the stadium card in play during this turn.
Discard it said during this turn, Zygarde can use his GX attack even if you refuse. Yeah, that was it. So you could use the Verdict twice.
Yeah.
So you could Verdict,
flip your GX,
play Bonnie, and do it, and then the next turn you can put a stadium out, play Bonnie, Verdict again, so you could just Verdict the entire...
Yeah.
Actually broken. And then you played that with Lucamine. Remember the Lucamine loop? Lucamine for double Bonnie, or Lucamine for stadium Bonnie.
Yeah, it was dumb as hell.
It used to actually trash everybody, it was so good. It was control fight.
Yeah, it was dumb. There was the addition of a new energy, same fighting, but then there's the Beast energy. It can only be attached to Ultra Beast, well it can be attached to other things, but you don't get the special effect of 30 extra damage. It's pretty nuts.
Because strong rotated.
Yeah, strong.
Which is why you went to the double colourless.
Yeah. Which helped with Lele's attack energy drive and Claw Slash, to being able to have that Claw Slash being easier to get instead of having to max elixir to the Rockruff. You know what I'm saying, yeah. But, no, I'm saying about instead of having to like max elixir to the Rockruff, you have the double turbo now. Double turbo.
I know I said you can sledgehammer for 200, but what if you play?
Yeah, oh nah, that's what I used to say all the time. I used to say that all the time. You're like, you can't one-shot me, and I'll be like,
if you
play Kukui.
But I'm going to play Kukui. So Kukui was like a meme, but it was actually a really broken card.
It was
so it's like, draw 2 cards this turn, you just draw 2 cards, but you do 20 more damage, and 20 is just really good.
Yeah, that was just another way of this deck doing more damage.
You could do 220 for 1 energy, broken.
Then we got this card, which is great. Cynthia, shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 6. That's because we had like a research drought.
Yeah, research
this was our research.
It was
for
Cynthia
ages.
and Lily, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's the Guzma, which is in the other deck, and then there's Lily, which is a really strong card.
So good.
So it's draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand, which is great. But if you go first, if it's your first turn, so whether that's first or second, you draw until you have 8. So with this deck,
and this is where you could play a supporter turn 1.
Was it? Yeah.
Like if you were going first.
Yeah.
So it was like even, it wouldn't be very good now.
Yeah.
But like this was the format where you would go first, right? You would, like I said, with the Marsh Shadow, you could either Lily before the Marsh Shadow and draw 8, set up to the point where you don't really matter if you're bricking, and then you just go Marsh Shadow.
Yeah.
It's 10 of artillery in it, by the way.
No, because artillery had gone.
Rotated, yeah. So it was just the fish in the other deck.
Yeah. We've got Acerola.
Yeah, Acerola. Yeah.
Oh, what the hell.
So Acerola.
Put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it to all cards attached to it into your hand.
Broken.
I'm not going to go into too much detail.
My favourite card.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because I think Simon is going to talk about this in one of his future episodes, so I want him to have his own section about
it's
this
just a really good card.
But
and
it's just great.
Relevant to what I said about the... The reason the Acerola in this deck is for the big two basics, the Zygarde and the Buzzwole. Mainly for the Buzzwole, because you can Jet Punch, Choice Bout, Beast Energy, Jet Punch for 90 or 100 or whatever. They hit you back for 180. You Acerola, bench, attach, repeat.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's in there. It's just really good
it is
for
a
that.
really strong
Like,
card.
any deck that plays a sufficient attacker with 1 energy, like, you think Arceus is good, and that's triple energy. Imagine if Arceus attacked for just a double turbo.
Be broken.
Like, with Acerola, Sharon's Care, it would just be unbeatable. So, yeah. But I will go into that.
We got Ultra Ball. No one know what that is. And then the last thing I'll talk about before we get into the big reveal is the Switch.
Yeah, because there was no flow.
Plays the Switch.
Yeah.
And then the Brooklet Hill.
Don't play multi-switch though.
It does not.
Some did, yeah.
It's the Brooklet Hill, the 3 Choice Belt, and the 9 Fighting Energy.
Play Switch. It was really rare to play Switch back then, so...
It's good to see it. However, we didn't have Max Elixir.
We had
this evil looking thing, which is also really glitchy. There we go. Beast Ring. It's an item. Oh my days.
It is. Look at it.
You can play this card only if your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, which was going to happen. There were very few ways to avoid it. So search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts and shuffle your deck. So it's like Mirage Gate, but better, because you know the situation's bound to happen. 7 in the last game doesn't always happen.
This is like getting Rock Sand.
Yeah.
But like, worse
It's
for
worse.
your opponent.
Yeah.
Your opponent's like killing themselves.
And you just get 2 basic energy, which can be the same type. So that's 2 fighting energy plus your attachment for turn. Slabam. 1 shot. I could name so many times where I've just gone, oh, I'm at 3 prizes, or you're at 3 prizes. Scratch my head and then I'll go, Beast Ring, swing around.
But
it was just that kind of
those
stuff.
disgusting turns where you would like, like I remember playing against this or against beast decks where they would just play 4 beast rings in 1 turn.
Yeah, whether they needed to.
So
or
they
not.
would just have a field of attackers, and you'd just be like,
oh, yeah.
So me knocking you out just lost me the game.
Exactly.
Like,
but the only way you can win is by getting to that point.
How is that even
I know,
fair?
it's so dumb.
So this card was really good. This card
Changed the format.
Changed Pokemon.
Yeah.
It changed the format. It changed the game. It changed the rules.
It did.
So this card, as we said, you can play this card if your opponent has exactly 3 or 4 prizes, and the main part of that is remaining. So not on 3 or 4 prizes, etc., but remaining prizes. So back in the day, the way you would get 3 or 4 prize cards remaining is by knocking out your opponent or prize penalties.
Mm-hmm.
So this some people used to play this and deliberately get prize penalties. So as we were saying before, weren't we? Like, you'd set up your perfect scenario where you've got 2, 3 beast rings in hand. You'd play a card. I don't know, let's say you play Lily to draw 6, right? But you draw 7 instead.
Mm-hmm.
You draw 7 cards, call over the judge, and you get a double prize penalty. Oof, that's really bad. So, double prize penalty, and your opponent takes 2 prizes. Like, they take 2 prizes. So they literally have 4 prizes remaining. Not 6 remaining with a prize penalty. So then, on that turn, because it's still your turn, you then set up your beast ring and knock out their only attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Because that attacker was probably going to knock you out next turn, but you're forfeiting your prizes, so you knock them out so they can no longer take prizes.
Yeah,
It's actually filth. Like, it was a filthy way to play, but it actually worked. So they changed it did have a gold card.
There we go.
That's the blingy Devil's Bubble. Right. With a shamrock in the middle.
What even is the beast?
It's a portal, isn't it? And it one of the Ultra Wormholes or something. I don't know. It just looks like the Beast's ring.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it changed the format. So now you can only take prizes if you know what I mean. You only physically take prizes if you knock stuff out. So if you have prize penalty, you stay on 6. So this card would not work.
Yeah.
So yeah, this card is again something that would be when it was been reprinted in Mirage Gate, but as Lewis said, it's massively again. It's back to the punishment stipulations of. It's not happening. You're not having a card that gives you 2 of the same energy ever again.
Yeah. So you can see how the deck survived rotation, and then as it got later into this, I think it was this one, the mini Buzzwall was played a lot with Garb, which is a whole nother deck.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even in Buzzwall. Like that's just 4 Buzzwall was in it.
Buzzwall, Garb,
4,
Shrine.
yeah, Buzzgarb Shrine.
Yeah.
That's a different day.
That's a monster.
That is a different day. But that's my favourite deck ever. It was the first deck I properly played.
So,
the first deck I actually played was Espeon Garb, I think.
Yeah, the one last time we spoke about.
Yeah.
But then you transitioned
and then
to this, and I stuck with that.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
And I won a couple of cups with it. 3. Lots of finishes. I know I've got lots of finishes.
Yeah, loads of top cut. Every cup was like top cut.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So that was cool. Qualified for Worlds pretty much with it. So.
Yeah, this was I was going to play this at Nashville, I think it was.
Yeah, but we couldn't go in the end, which sucked.
Couldn't go. But, you know, it is what it is. Well, that meant my Worlds decks would have been Buzzwall, Pikarom, and then Arceus Meltang.
Man, that deck was great.
Yeah, it was.
So this deck, do we think, I know my answer, right? And I can give you my breakdown, but let's go with you first. Would this deck still hold up now?
No.
Do you not think?
I mean...
Why not?
I mean, it's having a laugh against Lost Box.
This deck would beat Lost Box.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean...
What deck would this lose to?
It can't...
Now, I'm not saying look at like, it's only got 190 HP, right? Let's say Lugia's got 190 HP. Let's say Guardi's got 190 HP. That's, like the blanket.
If you're looking at the decks it beats...
Because what's a basic on at the moment? Like 200? Yeah. 220?
If you say
so just give Buzzwall 220.
If you say these are V-Star powered...
Yeah.
And these
like V's and stuff, yeah.
I'd say probably, actually. Because this beats Guardi with the Jet Punch, and
Guardi's resistant though by 30. So Lugia.
Yeah.
Is Psychic resistant? Or is it just flying? Psychic is some Psychic.
Some
Mew is it?
Yeah.
Just with Mew with Reckless.
Yeah. But Verdict mean you could do 150 plus the choice belt, and then that would be
180
V's and V maxes maybe.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be EX and V's, wouldn't it? Yeah.
If it was V maxes.
That's what I mean. If you were to change the thing.
If you were to literally just recreate the whole deck with different text, then it could be anything.
But I think this deck and the first draft of it, the one that was EUIC, right?
I'm gonna give us a full on screen.
The one that won
him.
Not the one that won. The one that comes fifth in EUIC. Yeah. If we go back to that version with the Octillery and the stuff like that, and the Max Elixirs, right? That's literally Miraidon.
Yeah.
And Miraidon just won a regional. So if you just turn Miraidon into a fighting type, that's Buzzwall.
Yeah.
It's the same deck. Like, it literally is the same thing. Like, you've got the very expensive attack for like 200-ish damage and can't attack next turn.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you.
So I think this deck would stand up.
Yeah, I hope they enjoyed my deck review, which was a long one.
It's fine.
We went on 45 minutes of me waffling about Buzzwell, But
wait till we talk about like a control deck.
no.
We'll be 45 minutes just on the first card.
Right, so that's it from me. But the deck profile will be back some point this month.
I just have to decide
With this guy,
what
he's
I
going to
want
decide.
do. Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas. I
This-
might change my ideas.
He knows
but-
it's going to be something funky though, hopefully.
Yeah, it's either going to be something control-y, boring,
Speaking of funky, look at cat.
or it's going to be something really fun and honestly,
Look at him.
like.
Yeah, look at him.
Woo-hoo.
He's not happy.
Yeah, Buzzroc, 10 out of 10 deck for me. I thought it was great. It's broken. Like, it's still one of the best GXs ever printed, I think.
I don't think people liked me playing it.
In terms of it being like a blanket plain attacker, it's just insane.
100%.
Like, you can't go, oh yes, but it doesn't do this, and it's like, no, as an attacker it was nuts. Like, with the tools it had with it, it's great.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, like it.
Yeah, so I guess whichever one was your favourite out of Espion or Buzzroc, let me know. I'd like to know.
Espion.
Alright, that's it, guys.
So yeah,
that really upset me.
like, subscribe, comment. Like, if you've got any decks you want us to talk about, go for it. I like talking about decks. It's my favourite bit. It is.
Nerd.
So let us know, because it would be nice to have some feedback.
Yeah, and this is goodbye again. Technically again.
Job.
But it's a bye from the cat. The cat that you can't see, which actually has fur. Simon. And me.
Is the other side.
And the other bald cat, which we don't know. But thank you for the other deck review.
There he is.
There he is.